All right, welcome back. And well, let's continue our conversation with Sonny Young of the Voice of America. Sonny, let's get back to what we're talking about. I don't know if you're done with the NBA, the stuff they're doing in Africa, but I also want to talk about Gennady Golovkin.
Yes, Triple G, great fighter from Kazakhstan. He was stripped of his IBF title just over the past 24 hours. The reason being for not facing mandatory challenger Sergei Derevchenko from Ukraine. I don't know that Triple G will lose a lot of sleep over that, Yemi. I think there will be continuing discussions with Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, about a rematch with Canelo Alvarez. As many of our viewers know, they were scheduled to fight on May 5th, and then Canelo tested positive for a steroid drug, and that fight was canceled. Latest reports coming out of Las Vegas, Yemi, is that Triple G still wants that rematch with Canelo, and they're negotiating about the terms. And the latest is Triple G says he's willing to go for a 55-45 split. In other words, Canelo would get 55% of the total purse, and he would get the remaining 45%. I think they have to work out some financial details. I don't know that him losing the IBF title, though, Yemi, will affect the rematch much. And I am hopeful that there will be a rematch in September.
All right, Sonny. Let's also talk about something that is beginning to wear us out, boxing fans. We really wanted to see it, eagerly anticipated, but every time they say we're going to do this next week, we're going to do this next month. I'm talking about Deontay Wilder and AJ. I think about 2 weeks ago they said we're going to make an announcement. I think everyone is getting tired. I know about you, but do you think the fight is going to happen?
I have my doubts that it's going to happen this year, Yemi. I think there might be some strategy on the case of Anthony Joshua's team to maybe stretch this out and maybe early in 2019 to fight Deontay Wilder. I still think Wilder does not have a lot of following here in the States as well as overseas. I think AJ is a much bigger drawing card, and I would love to see those guys get in the ring, but I do have my doubts that they're going to reach an agreement for 2018.
All right, Sonny, I want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Always a pleasure, Yemi. Have a good evening.
Yeah, and you too. That's our friend from the Voice of America, Sonny Young. All right, Tolu, let's get back to it. Your thoughts on some of the things he said before we get back to the big one, which of course is football.
NBA?
Okay, your thoughts?
Well, what's happening right now is unfair on LeBron James, who is fast becoming the greatest player in the history of basketball, of course, arguably.
Even when he's losing, he's doing remarkable things.
I mean, he has now beaten Michael Jordan to the number of 30-plus points in an NBA playoff finals and season put together. Look, he put out 53 points some days ago, didn't get his team the win. And that 33, of course, we don't get the team the win because a certain Kevin Durant who left OKC Thunder and moved a great team on their own, doing great stuff. But he felt, I need to win rings. Team. And he's going to get the second ring in as many years. And that tells you something. You might be doing all that great stuff. Eventually, it boils down to what you win, number of championships you win. And that is why Kevin Durant made that move, and it's paying off. What is going to happen with LeBron James, we don't know yet. Losing Kyrie Irving last season for Cleveland Cavaliers was a big blow. Never really got to replace him. Kevin Love hasn't stepped up. If AJ wants to move to Philadelphia 76ers, which is where it looks like he might go, like Sonny rightly said, there are a lot of young stars there. Joel Embiid is one. I do not think it will fit in properly. Maybe a return to Miami?
Maybe.
Just maybe?
Maybe. Okay. All right. So, Tolu giving us his thoughts on the NBA. We're going to go on a timeout. When we come back, we'll be in the segment where we talk about everything World Cup, everything that has to do with the 2018 World Cup. So let's take that time out, and when we return, we'll be talking about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. All right, welcome back. Let's get straight to it. Let's talk about the FIFA rankings, Tolu. I don't know if... No, you didn't need to do that.
It doesn't make any difference to me anyway.
Okay.
It really doesn't make any difference to me whether or not we are 100 in the world. Okay, maybe that would be better if we are 100 in the world, but even when we win games, we barely ever rise on the rankings. So, yeah, we lost a game, or we lost 2 games. And it's just what it is.
Okay.
We are where we are. Maybe... a lot of calculations go into these things. No one really understands how it is done. Eventually, when you think that the team should be making progress on the rankings, you either remain stagnant or you drop points. So, but it doesn't matter. Where we are on the rankings doesn't matter. We know, and we've known this for a while, that we are the least ranked team in our group.
Right.
7th rank, maybe it doesn't speak well of us, but the honest truth is Tunisia, Senegal are probably where they should be in terms of rankings in Africa. Those 2 teams have been really consistent over the past few months, and Nigeria hasn't, to be very fair. So we know we are the least ranked team in our group. We know we are the underdogs, but we are ready to cause an upset.
All right. Let's this for the one for Africa. Let's see the global one now, the one for the world, the top 10. And you look at this, and maybe apart from Switzerland and Poland, it's difficult to say that any of these teams shouldn't be in the top 10. And the Germans still on top. And of course, they're going to the World Cup, hoping to successfully defend the title that they won 4 years ago. So Germany number 1, Brazil number 2, Belgium, Portugal, Argentina, Switzerland, France, Poland, Chile, and Spain in that order. According to FIFA, these are the 10 best football playing nations in the world. You can have your thoughts, but
it's good to know that one of the 10 best wouldn't be at the World Cup, though. Chile.
Chile.
And we will be at the World Cup.
Okay. All right. So let's move on the show and get some thoughts, some perspective. A lot of people have, been talking about the Super Eagles, what they think will happen at the World Cup. So let's listen to an ex-international, someone who has played at that level, seen it all, done it all. I'm talking about Augustin Guavoin. He's talking about what he thinks will happen at the World Cup. So let's listen to him and come back for more on Sports Tonight.
I'm not too comfortable with the depth of the team. When I say depth, you can't win a tournament with 13, 14 players. Sorry to say that, but I try to be as objective as I can be. We have some good 13, 14 players that can, play at that level consistently. The other ones, I don't think they can play at that level consistently. But however, let's see what happens. We're backing them with prayers, and first game will actually determine how far we can go. If we win the first game, I'm looking at quarterfinals, honestly speaking. World Cup, to win World Cup now, it's very difficult.
All right, Augustin Guavoin echoing the sentiments of a lot of people. I'm very sure a lot of people do agree with some of the things that he has said. And most people are saying, well, we're not going to judge with friendlies, but we're going to see that first game. And after that first game, we'll know if we're just going to play 3 matches at the World Cup, come home, or if we're going to stay longer.
He spoke about quarterfinals, and I have my doubts, because we will be playing, if we finish top of the group, we will play second place.
Let's get out of
in France's group.
Let's get out of the group.
Yeah, maybe I'm jumping, right? But I'm just looking at it realistically. Wherever we finish in our group, we'll probably play France or Peru in the other group, who are top guns. I saw Peru during the qualifying. I saw 30 of Peru's games during the South American qualifyings, and I fear them. They are ferocious. They attack at you. They go with everything they can. They ensured that Chile wouldn't be at the World Cup. So it tells you something about them. France is another team we already know. Of course, we lost to them in the round of 16 4 years ago. So if we are talking of the quarterfinals, we need to have it at the back of our mind that France or Peru wait for us in the round of 16. However, we're looking at the possibility of even getting out of a group that is star-studded. We have Argentina, we have Croatia.
We have Iceland. Okay.
It's going to be difficult.
All right. Tolu, try not to scare people. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's just a few days till the World Cup. 7 days to be precise. 7 days till the commencement of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. That's it. 7 days to go. And there's nothing else to say. It's upon us. All right, let's also listen to FIFA President Gianni Infantino. He has an advice for people who want to cause trouble, for people who want to come to Russia and just, disturb the peace. He says, if that's your intention, don't bother coming. So let's listen to the FIFA President give his advice to anybody who wants to cause trouble in Russia.
The Russian authorities are very much aware about the security situation in such a big event. They are working very hard to prepare it. They are working very hard in cooperation with police forces and police authorities of all governments. So every fan that is coming to Russia will be welcomed in a safe environment to celebrate. If anyone is thinking to come to Russia to create trouble, well then he better stay home. 1 week before kickoff, I think we can say that Russia is 100% ready, and the whole world will actually see it in 1 week when we kick off.
All right, if you want to cause trouble, stay at home. That's the advice coming from the FIFA president, and he says as well that Russia is ready. So let's quickly talk about Spain. They got royal blessings today, and of course they're on their way to Russia. And the mission for the Spaniards, is to reclaim the title.
Long shots, long shots. This looks like probably an understrength Spanish side. When we compare these to the 2014 and the 2010 squads. Yeah. Sort of, there is no real replacement for Xabi alone. So you cannot, no disrespect to Saúl Ñíguez and Koke, but
they're not on that level.
Xabi does something, it brings something different to the team that
even in the
none
defense,
of these boys bring.
Even apart from Sergio Ramos and PK, if any of those two gets injured, I mean, are you talking about
and you
Nacho?
expect to have a certain
about
Raúl Albiol who's been doing great for Napoli over the past 4 years. I think his best 4 years in his career has been away from Spain. But the Spaniards have a policy. It is difficult for you to get into the national team setup if you do not play in Spain. You need to be guns blazing in any other part of Europe where it is you're playing. For them, what matters to them is you play at home. The coaches can see you. You have not forgotten what it means to play the tiki-taka way, and that is important. So I think they lack depth in defense. They don't have the quality names like they used to have. They do not have a lot of firepower going forward. There's a certain time where the likes of Fernando Torres, David Villa will spearhead attack. No disrespect to Thiago Aspas, but he's 30 and he's just getting to the team. It tells you something.
Diego Costa.
Or Costa, who's always in and out. Or a certain Alvaro Morata is not making the World Cup squad. Rodrigo, I beg your pardon, from Valencia is in the squad. So it tells you something. These are not names that scare you particularly. Costa has only played for 6 months, and how many games has he played in that 6-month period? So it tells you something. This looks like a very understrength Spanish side, but then you can be surprised. This Spanish team can actually win games 1-0 and go ahead to win the World Cup, but I think it will be a long, tall order for them to reclaim the world title.
You think winning the World Cup is a stretch?
I think it's a stretch, really. At best, they'll probably get knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Okay, all right. So that's Tolu's assessment. We'll see what happens, whether or not Spain will be able to do what they plan to do. All right, that's how we end this segment, and we'll also be going on a break from this point. When we return, we'll be taking a look at things happening on the domestic scene. Join us again.